You ever think about what your grandparents kept in their medicine cupboard? It wasn't always a brightly colored plastic bottle. What if I told you that the most powerful healing plants your ancestors used every single day have been completely forgotten, ignored, and even labeled as weeds? The herbs on your grandmother's windowsill, the leaves she'd crush for your stomach ache, the teas for colds, these weren't just plants, they were the family pharmacy. And the wild part? They're easier to grow than the flowers we waste money on today. Somewhere along the way, we traded centuries of wisdom for convenience, for quick fixes our great-grandparents would have laughed at. We lost the sheer confidence of walking into our gardens and finding relief growing right there in the soil. Today, I'm bringing back 15 powerful, forgotten healing plants your grandparents knew by heart. We're going to dive into the historical use, the confirmed science, and the exact planting hacks you need to bring these incredible remedies back to your home. Pay close attention to number 6, the despised weed that grows in your front lawn right now. It was considered the most potent first aid remedy on the frontier. Let's get started. Section 1. The respiratory and fever breakers, nature's cold and flu kit. We start with the plants that were the core defense against winter colds, coughs, and fevers, essential for every household from rural Canada to the British countryside. Number 1. Horehound. If you've never heard of horehound, don't worry. Most people under 60 haven't, but your grandparents, they knew this plant like the back of their hand. Horehound was the go-to remedy for persistent coughs, colds, and sore throats. Grandma's secret? Horehound tastes bitter, almost earthy, but that bitterness is exactly what made it so effective. It stimulates the production of thin, watery mucus, helping to clear congestion faster than any thick syrup. Grandma would steep the leaves in hot water, add a little honey, and hand you a cup that cleared your chest every time. The planting hack? Horehound is a perennial herb that thrives in poor soil, loves full sun, and basically grows itself once established, zones 3 through 8. It's drought-tolerant, pest-resistant, and produces fuzzy white flowers that bees adore. Think of horehound as the old, reliable pickup truck of medicinal plants. Not fancy, but it gets the job done every single time. Number 2. Feverfew. The name alone tells you what this plant was used for. Feverfew was the fever breaker. When someone in the house came down with a high temperature or a pounding headache, feverfew was the answer. The migraine secret? Modern research has actually backed this up. Feverfew contains compounds called parthenolides that reduce inflammation and relieve severe migraines. Your great-grandmother would pick a few leaves, steep them in tea, and trust the plant to cool the body down. The planting hack? It's a low-growing perennial, zones 5 through 9, with cheerful, daisy-like flowers that bloom all summer long. Plant it once, and it'll self-seed year after year. Feverfew doesn't ask for much. Decent drainage, a little sun, and it's happy. It's like having a nurse living right there in your garden. Number 3. Elderberry. Now we're getting into the heavier hitters. Elderberry was your grandparents' secret weapon against colds and flu. When everyone in the house started sniffling, Grandma would pull out her jar of elderberry syrup, dark, thick, and sweet, and dose everyone at the table. The immunity secret? Modern studies have confirmed what grandparents always knew. Elderberry boosts the immune system and shortens the duration of illness, particularly the flu. The planting hack? Elderberry bushes grow fast, produce massive clusters of berries, and thrive in almost any soil as long as they get enough water. Bonus use? The flowers are edible too, perfect for making delicate elderflower cordial or wine. Elderberry is like the wise elder of the garden, powerful, generous, and always looking out for the family. Number 4. Mullein. Mullein is one of those plants that looks almost prehistoric. It grows tall, sometimes 6 feet or more, with thick velvety leaves and a flower spike that reaches for the sky. The lung healer. Grandparents used mullein for virtually all respiratory issues, coughs, bronchitis, and asthma. They'd make a tea from the leaves or even smoke the dried leaves to open up the lungs. The soft, velvety texture is actually tiny hairs that help to soothe inflamed airways. The planting hack? Mullein is a biennial, meaning it grows leaves the first year and flowers the second, then it reseeds itself. It loves poor rocky soil in full sun, and once established, practically takes care of itself. Deer won't touch it, and pests ignore it. Section 2. Skin, bruises, and trauma healers. The original first aid kit. These plants were the bandages and salves of the old world, used externally to stop bleeding, reduce swelling, and speed up healing. Number 5. Comfrey. This is the plant your grandpa would reach for every time he scraped his knee working in the shed or twisted his ankle hauling hay. Comfrey has been called knit bone for centuries because it was believed to help bones and tissue heal faster. The biological secret? The leaves contain allantoin, a compound that promotes rapid cell regeneration. Grandparents would mash up fresh comfrey leaves into a poultice and apply it directly to bruises, sprains, and cuts.
6. Plantain. Plantago major. Now for the biggest surprise, the weed you've been mowing over. Plantain. No, not the banana. I'm talking about the broadleaf weed that grows in every lawn, every sidewalk crack, every forgotten corner of the garden. And yes, it's one of the most powerful healing plants on this entire list. The frontier secret? Your grandparents knew that plantain leaves could stop a bee sting from swelling, pull out splinters, and soothe poison ivy. They'd chew up a leaf, yes, chew it, and apply it directly to the skin. It works because plantain has natural anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties. You don't even have to plant it. It's already there. Plantain is the ultimate underdog, ignored, underestimated, and absolutely irreplaceable. 7. Yarrow, Achillea millefolium. Yarrow is a warrior plant, literally. It's been used on battlefields for thousands of years to stop bleeding. Soldiers would pack yarrow leaves into wounds to clot the blood and prevent infection. The home remedy? Your grandparents kept yarrow in the garden for cuts, scrapes, and nosebleeds. They'd crush the flowers and leaves into a paste or brew it into a tea for fevers and colds. The planting hack? Yarrow is tough as nails, zones 3 through 9. It grows in poor soil, handles drought, and blooms in shades of white, pink, and yellow all summer long. It makes an excellent companion plant because it improves the health of everything around it. 8. Calendula, Calendula officinalis. If you've ever seen those bright orange and yellow flowers that look like they belong in a fairy tale, that's calendula. Your grandmother didn't just grow it because it was pretty. She grew it because it was her go-to for skin problems, rashes, burns, cuts, eczema, and diaper rash. The skincare secret? She'd infuse the petals in oil or make a salve that could heal almost anything. Calendula has powerful anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties, and it's gentle enough to use on babies. The planting hack? It's an annual, but it self-seeds so enthusiastically that you'll never be without it. Plant it once in spring, and by summer you'll have a golden carpet of healing. Section 3. Nerve, comfort, and sleep aids. The inner sanctuary. These gentle herbs were used to calm the mind, soothe anxiety, and guarantee a deep restorative sleep. 9. Chamomile, Matricaria ricuta. Chamomile is the bedtime story of the plant world, gentle, sweet, and universally loved. Your grandmother grew chamomile for one main reason: sleep! A cup of chamomile tea before bed meant deep rest and calm dreams. The calming agent? Chamomile was also used for upset stomachs, teething babies, and nervous tension. There are 2 types: German chamomile, annual, and Roman chamomile, perennial ground cover. The planting hack? Chamomile grows best in cool weather, loves full sun, and self-seeds like crazy. It's also one of the most forgiving plants you'll ever grow. 10. Lemon balm, Melissa officinalis. If there ever was a plant that felt like a hug from your grandmother, it's lemon balm. This gentle herb was used to calm nerves, ease anxiety, and help you sleep when the world felt too heavy.
The mood booster? Your grandma would crush a handful of lemon balm leaves, drop them in hot water, and tell you to breathe it in slowly. The refreshing citrus scent alone is enough to make your shoulders drop. The planting hack? Lemon balm is part of the mint family, zones 4 through 9, which means it grows fast, spreads wide, and doesn't quit. Plant it in a container or a space you can manage, and it will reward you with endless leaves. 11. Motherwort, Leonoris cardiaca. The name says it all. Motherwort was the plant for mothers, particularly for easing anxiety, calming a racing heart, and supporting women through the ups and downs of life. The heart healer? Your grandmother might have kept a jar of motherwort tucked away in the cupboard for those days when life felt overwhelming. It has a bitter taste, but that didn't stop generations of women from brewing it into tea and trusting it to steady their nerves. The planting hack? It's a tall, hardy perennial, zones 4 through 8, that grows in almost any soil, tolerates shade, and reseeds itself generously. 12. Marshmallow root, Althea officinalis. Yes, this is the plant that marshmallows were originally made from back when marshmallows were medicine, not candy. Marshmallow root was used to soothe sore throats, calm upset stomachs, and heal inflamed skin. The coating secret? The root contains a thick, slippery substance called mucilage that coats and protects irritated tissues. Your grandparents would dig up the roots in fall, dry them, and simmer them into a syrup or tea. The planting hack. Marshmallow is a tall, elegant perennial with soft pink flowers, zones 3 through 9. It loves moisture and rich soil. It is the gentle healer that wraps you in softness when everything else feels too harsh. Section 4. The overlooked and underappreciated essentials. We finish with 3 quiet heroes that provided daily utility and nutrition, often growing right outside the back door. 13. Hyssop, Agastoth spp or Hyssopus officinalis. Hyssop was essential. It was used for respiratory infections, coughs, and congestion. Your grandparents would make a strong tea from the leaves and flowers and inhale the steam to clear their lungs. The flavor factor? Hyssop has a sharp, minty flavor and beautiful blue and pink flower spikes that hummingbirds and bees go crazy for. The planting hack? It's a hardy perennial, zones 4 through 9, that loves sun, tolerates drought, and actually gets better with age. The more you prune it, the bushier it grows. 14. Self-heal, Prunella vulgaris. If ever there was a plant that deserved its name, it's self-heal, also called heal-all. This low-growing herb was used for everything from wounds and burns to sore throats and digestive issues. The Swiss Army knife? It's a member of the mint family, and your grandparents treated it like a Swiss Army knife of healing. They'd make poultices, teas, tinctures, whatever the situation called for. The planting hack? It grows happily in lawns, gardens, and wild spaces, loves moisture and part shade, and once it's there, it stays, keeping its quiet purple flowers showing up all summer long.
15. Violet, Viola odorata. We end with one of the most overlooked, underappreciated, and absolutely magical plants in this entire list, violets. Those tiny purple flowers that pop up in spring and disappear by summer. The nutritional secret? Your grandparents didn't just admire them, they used them. Violet leaves and flowers were made into syrups for coughs and salves for dry, cracked hands. Crucially, violets are edible and packed with vitamin C. The leaves are a mild-flavored substitute for spinach in the early spring. They grow in shade, spread gently through the garden, and require zero maintenance.
So there you have it. 15 incredible healing plants that your grandparents used every single day. These weren't exotic, they weren't expensive, they were just there, growing quietly, waiting to be needed. And here's what I want you to understand. Growing these plants isn't just about having remedies on hand. It's about reconnecting with something we lost. It's about stepping into your garden and knowing that you have the power to take care of yourself and the people you love. It's about honoring the generations who came before us and carried this essential wisdom forward even when the world told them it didn't matter anymore. So here's my challenge to you.
Pick 2 plants from this list, just 2, grow them this season, learn their rhythms, use them when the time comes, and then teach someone else. Because that's how this wisdom survives. Not in dusty books, not in videos, but in the hands of people who care enough to keep it alive. If you love this video, smash that like button, drop a comment telling me which of these plants you remember from your own childhood, and subscribe if you haven't already. We need to keep bringing back the forgotten garden magic together. And remember, keep growing smart, keep growing wild, and keep growing connected to the earth that gives us everything. I'll see you in the next video.